Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video, and we have a crap ton of information to cover today. We just got finished, well, not just, but we just had their producer video drop, and we live streamed it, so you can check out the whole long talk there. We, after it was over, we hopped into voice chat with Gotcha Death and kind of discussed everything that we're really going to talk about here, just in a very, very short format. So, with that in mind, let's dive in. So, we have some new things in here. New content announcement, video message. We will cover that in a bit after we get done with this in-game news. We have an important 329 update notice. Thank you for playing. The following changes to the app will occur. New feature, Tower. New system, Equipment Super Awakening. New facilities. Available missions can be viewed in quest details, which was not something that was previously discussed in anything, but now instead of having to go from EX Conquest into your quest and then back to Conquest and back to the menus, you can view it all right there. That's really nice. That's a good quality of life update right there. And then resolution of minor issues is whatever. It will happen tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. And it will probably be a very big update since we're getting a brand new game mode along with other things. So, be on Wi-Fi, I guess. Moving on into the preview for 3:30 new event information. Thank you for playing Isekai Memories starting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. my time, 2 a.m. UTC. New event called Training Places. Clear quests, then enhance the character available from the login bonus, plus you can awaken the event exclusive equipment. We will go over that shortly. New troop recruit. Benimaru and Hakuro are the new units for the confirmed Earth meta. The producer video kind of went over what they did as far as their skills are concerned. We will cover that in a bit. We have the pack for the banner, so fruit, tickets, crystals, that's standard fare across the board. And then we have the tower pack, announcing 3 different packs that can be purchased limited times to commemorate the start of the tower event. Crystals, these are the vitality potions that are used for the tower exclusive stamina. These are different from normal stamina potions because Tower has its own stamina system that's separate from normal. So a pack that gives potions, we'll see how much they give you because the recharge rate for Tower is quite slow. Quite slow. Just heads up. And also a 5-star guaranteed ticket, which is a free 5-star unit. I mean, that's pretty good right there. Hopefully I can pull the 2 units that I need now, which I'm not going to, but, you know, whatever. It's more dupes. Here is something big. Conquest update. Gold Blacksmith Hammer drops now available in Extreme Conquest. The amount of stamina used on difficulty levels Master and EX has been reduced from 18 to 15. You know, it's not the largest amount, but 15 is now in line with pretty much most of the other big stamina cost missions of the game. It's still 1.5 stamina potions, which is still a little bit unfortunate, but it's better than 18. At least this kind of regulates it down into a nice even number. In difficulty level extreme, you can now farm gold hammers. This is huge because we know with the equipment super awakening that if you want to super awaken a 6-star weapon, you need to have another 6-star weapon of the same name, of the same type, to feed into it, which, you know, before this was announced, was going to be a little difficult for people who didn't have a lot of gold hammers, because they used all their gold hammers on other pieces of gear, or they just cannot beat missions to get gold hammers. So, I mean, yes, it's relegated to EX only, but gold hammers should have been a drop in EX probably from the beginning when EX dropped. Because remember, EX was not in the game at launch. It only went up to Master. They added EX in and we were like, oh, you can get gold hammers now. Wrong. You got it once for beating the stage, and then you get more for beating the specific missions, which some of them are kind of difficult for people. Beating EX Conquest is pretty difficult for people. So this is nice that they're adding gold hammers in now. And then the drop rate for each difficulty level has been adjusted. So I don't know what that's going to look like as far as us getting bronze hammers, silver hammers, cores, gold hammers, high quality fangs, high quality hides, and all that stuff. I don't know what that's going to look like because they've never officially published the drop rates for us to look at. So I don't know how that's going to affect what we get from Conquest. It will kind of just be trial and error for the first week or so to see what we get from, parallel processing a whole crap ton of Conquest missions. It's my hope at the very minimum that EX Conquest no longer has bronze hammers. Like if you're parallel processing EX Conquest, you probably don't need bronze hammers. You probably have a crap ton that are not used because you don't need bronze hammers. You probably don't need silver hammers anymore. You need cores and you need fangs and gold hammers now. So that's that. That is all for this update right here. So we've got the new event with the free unit. We've got the new banner with the battle unit Benimaru and protection unit Hakuro. We've got pay to play packs, and the update to Conquest. So with that out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this, which was the producer Q&A/video. They had 6 questions and then a whole bunch of information. So let's just go over things very quickly. Question 1, will the game story overtake the anime and go into plot lines from the original novels? And also, do you plan to add characters who only appear in the novels? They said no, because they want their characters to be fully voiced, and if they bring in people from the light novel who don't even have voice actors yet, it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So it's gonna be a bit until they get animated first, and then they'll be added into Slime. Question 2, will there be other chances to get characters who appeared in previous recruits? Now, please keep in mind these questions are from January, before rerun banners were a thing. Before they announced that they were adding the Dark, Wind, and Fire units into the general pool for tickets, these are old questions, and they pretty much said that, yeah, we've already started doing that. Question 3, nation building options have been expanding, but are there any plans to expand the space available for the town? And they said, yes, they are working on a new content soon related to expanding the player's building area. So you will have even more room to make your town all nice and pretty and symmetrical, things that I don't give a crap about, which some people are a little bit irritated by. But it's my own town, so let me do whatever I want. Anyways, question 4. Will you be adding user chat and communication functions? Now, this is a big question, because on the surface you would say, no, they're not, because it's dumb, or you don't need it, because we don't need to talk to people. However, their answer was very interesting, because they said it wouldn't be all that useful unless there were multiplayer collaborative content for users to enjoy, and as a result, we're considering implementing both at the same time, which means they have the idea in their heads that they're going to implement some kind of multiplayer function where a chat or communication function would make sense. This isn't PvP. This is just multiplayer. Maybe like a cooperative raid, maybe visiting other people's towns, maybe doing something with other people. They are considering doing both. They are considering making multiplayer options for this game, and that is why they are holding off on making user chat. That is big. That is huge. Because I don't want PvP right now. That would not be good for this game. I would like multiplayer cooperative experiences, and as a result of that, I would like to chat with the people that I'm playing with, that I'm battling with, to beat whatever objective. That makes sense. Moving on. Question 5, is the next Demon Lord's release scheduled yet? Yeah, because we'll talk about him in literally 2 minutes. So, moving on to the next question. Question 6, will future events depart from the common format used by Christmas and Valentine's events we've seen so far? So remember, this came out in January, we only had the 2 events, but they did say we'll be seeing a fresh format in the new tower content, Loop Loop, and we're currently considering even more content which will offer a different style of play from what you find in other games. Other games, not Isekai Memories content. Games as a whole, as a media. They're working on content that is different from other gameplay elements from different games as a whole. That is also quite big. That is ambitious and is good news for the future. They did not say when, so it's gonna be a while. But they are working on bigger and better things for this game. And that's good. That gives me a lot of hope for this game and the players and the devs, because honestly the devs have been doing a pretty good job. They've announced 2 major things in just these 6 questions. Multiplayer content and chat functions are going to come together, and different style of play content from other games. That's huge. So, and then question 7 was who's his favorite character? He loves Gabiru. Cool beans. Let's move on. We've got Tower coming tomorrow, tomorrow, depending on what day you're watching this. They kind of went over, what it's going to do, things that you can do, the 4 things that can happen, treasure chest, enemies, you can suck in spirits for buffs, or you could just take damage or something or debuff. That's fine. And then they talk about the new awakening materials for your gear, and then the new buildings that boost the output of your weapons and defenses and HP. Also very good, so more stuff for people to lose their minds over customizing their town. Kind of goes well with implementing the expansion of the town feature, because they're adding 10 new buildings, something like that. You kind of need space for it, so good for them. Next, we come to the big news. New characters from the OCTAGRAM series. We have Guy Crimson, and to my slight disappointment, he is a fire unit. So now we have 2 Guy Crimsons that are fire. I really wanted him to be dark. I thought, regardless of his crystal color, I thought all this other black and this purple and this deep, deep magenta-ish kind of color, thought he might be dark, but he is fire. So it is what it is. Disappointed, yes. Will I live with it? Also, yes. Right, talking about Guy Crimson. So he's fire, whatever. His 2 skills. All we got is his 2 skill information. His first skill is a triple orb change. Changes 3 greens into 3 oranges. First triple skill, or triple orb change right here. So that's already very good. We don't know how much it'll cost, but triple orb changing, excellent. Increases all Soul of Secrets gauge increase by 10%. So, kind of like what Charybdis does, but not nearly as, jacked up. So, each orange orb will give you a 10% boost to your secret skill, your protection gauge, and your skill points. So, that's pretty good. I think, based on, how the game has been going, this will probably be a 30 to a 35 point skill. But then his second skill, chance to stun a single target 100%. This is where I am confused. Because Conquest, EX, and High Level Crucible and Challenge event missions are all immune to stunning, what point does he have to have a guaranteed stun? And there's only one thing that I can think of, and that is Tower. There must be some enemy, or all enemies in Tower must have the ability to be stunned. They do not have that 100% resistance. So, I don't know. Maybe it's going to be impossible to clear some stages in Tower without, being able to miss a turn on them, because they just do crazy amounts of damage. Maybe, if you, by chance, used this and then Frostbite, this is a 100% chance to stun, and bosses have a 100% chance to not be stunned. But what if you use Frostbite and increase the 100% stun chance to 130%? And then you can stun EX Conquest. What if that's a thing? Because if that's a thing, which I didn't think about on the stream, that's actually really fucking good. And that means Frostbite is making a huge return, because I wasn't really too big on Frostbite when I read the rest of these units. But that is something that could be very, very big, and I probably have to discuss that with my Discord after this. So that's what he does as far as his 2 skills. We don't know his stats. We don't know if he's a single target or an AoE. But he is an Octagram unit, so he will cost 100 Octagram emblems to be level 80. I will buy him tomorrow when he comes out, and I will do showcases for him. And we will see how this 100% stun chance will work. But let's move on. Let's find out what the free units are. So, training places, we have Benimaru, Hakaru, and Soe. The story is like they're doing training with the 3 Beastketeers from the Animal Kingdom, Albus, Sufia, and Phobio. And now here we have Earth Benimaru Battle Unit and Earth Hakaru Protection Unit. So, Earth Benimaru's first skill transfers another random character's soul card ×2 to himself and decreases all targets' earth resistance by 15%. So, this is not a generic orb change. This is, I'm going to take over 2 of your orbs because I'm a greedy mofo. So, if you have a turn where you have, I say, 2 Benimaru and 2 Trainee and 2 Earth Millum, and you use this skill, suddenly you don't have any cards for Trainee or Millum, and Benimaru has 4 cards. Or, if you have 4 with Benimaru and you have 2 for the person, and none for the third character, you're going to steal those 2, and you're going to have a 6-card send with Benimaru after that. This is a brand new mechanic, and it is very interesting. Because sometimes you get screwed in hands, and your unit that you need like 1 more orb to get an ult on that specific turn, you ain't gonna get it. But if you use this, you can steal those orbs, and all of a sudden you can get the ult. It makes team building, I wouldn't say it turns it on its head, but it does make things very, very interesting. And then as a plus, he also decreases earth resistance by 15%. So people who use earth damage are going to do 15% more to other targets, which will help out in the long run, say against EX Millum, who you need to do as much damage as possible and still live. His second skill increases orange damage by 30% and increases the Soul of Secrets gauge increase by 30%. So, orange damage by 30% is very good, and it's not just his, it's all oranges. Excellent. Helps out the entire team, and also increases all Soul of Secrets gauge increase by 30%. Now, it's always worded weird, but what this means is that when you use an orange orb, you will get 30% more gain on your secret skill, on your protection gauge, and your skill points. 30%, and all of them. So if you have a unit that gives you a full hand of oranges, and you pop that, suddenly all those oranges do 30% more damage and give you 30% extra stuff to everything. Just kind of like how Cabby does, except he doesn't boost damage. So this could be very interesting, and it could help get ults and points and protection meters a lot faster. Now, like I said just a few seconds ago, if you have someone that can change an entire hand to orange, well, let's look at Protection Hakaru, who changes 3 greens and 3 blues into oranges. So, if you have a perfect hand of 3 blues and 3 greens, you can use Hakaru, and suddenly you will have a 6-card send of oranges. And then you pop Benimaru, and then your oranges do 30% more damage and gain you 30% more stuff. I mean, on paper, it works out very well, but we'll have to see, because it's so very specific, of 3 and 3 into 6, if you have 4 and 2, then you're going to be missing out right there. It's not going to change everything, but in that kind of scenario, you could use another orb changer or something like that. You could use Hinata, I guess. So Hinata will actually work very well with his Earth team coming in, because she is the special orb changer for oranges. So she'll have a very decent place as long also raising defense. Pretty good team comp, I'll have to test that out. He also, as a secondary part, boost his skill points by 40. Now, I don't know how I feel about this, because he does give you 40 points, but he doesn't increase your point cap by 40, or at all. He just gives you 40 points. And so if you're trying to do big daddy damage numbers, it's going to be a little difficult, because the way you'd have to play around this is you'd have to pop like Space Rimuru's buff right there, and you'd have to have over 15 points, right, after you use it. And then you pop Hakuro, who then gives you another 40 points, getting you back up to 55 and allowing you to use a second 55-point skill. But that's it. That's all you can do. Maybe, if you get stupendously lucky, you could do that twice, and then send that character to the back, and then wait for another Hakuro meter, and then bring them back again, and then do the two other buffs, and the one buff and then Hakuro, and then the fourth buff. That is not realistic, but it is possible. But I don't know how I feel about Hakuro. We'll have to see how he actually plays out, if he is actually usable. A 3-in-3 orb change does sound interesting, though. So that is a thing. Again, we'll have to test it out. And finally, the last unit, because they did say that they were training with the Beastketeers, and like we saw in the magazine leaks earlier that we posted, that people didn't believe me for some reason, we have the free-to-play unit is Albus. Albus, which I'm really liking this outfit, and I'm really liking this art for, many different reasons. But she is the free 4-star that you can level up to 6-star. She has her own set of gear, as you can see here, and her skills are transfers her own soul card to another Vanguard character. So Benimaru transfers another random character's soul card to himself. So he steals 2 cards, right? Albus transfers her own cards to someone else. So very, very interesting right here. Stealing orbs, giving orbs. I don't know how that's really going to play out right now, but it could work. It's going to take a lot of testing to see how effective this will actually be. And then she also increases all souls' secret skill gauge increase by 10%. Now again, it's worded really dumb, but it is different than what Benimaru says, because Benimaru says that he increases all orange gauge increase. So any orange you use will give you 30% extra to everything, right? This one says all souls secret skill gauge increase by 10%, which means that blues and greens and oranges will give you an extra 10% to your alt gauge. So Benimaru buffs orange strictly, and Albus buffs everything but only for the alt gauge meter. So we'll see if those two stack on the oranges or not, but increasing the amount of alt gauge that greens and blues give you could be helpful in a pinch. And then her second skill is increases stun evasion rate by 100%. So kind of like Shizu and Shuna, she has a stun dodge. Whether or not that's useful right now, we'll have to wait and see. People speculated on stream that it could be Jubilee that stuns you, and you might have to use this. But Jubilee, where the Earth meta is going to be needed, is a month away, at least. Maybe 3.5 weeks, but we got a while until that becomes a thing and we find out if that's real or not. Anything else in this producer video? We have the 14-day login bonus, so day 1 you get Albus. It's pretty standard fare from any new meta event start. Albus, Magicules, blueprints for the new building. You get tickets, 4 tickets. It's pretty standard stuff. And then finally, they did say new event info. Here's a sneak peek at an illustration from the story event that kicks off on Friday. And this is all they've shared. This picture and this question mark. We don't know what it's going to do, but this question mark is apparently a building. A building. It will also offer the chance to build facilities a little different from what you've seen so far. So building that does not do something that other buildings do currently. And we can speculate all we want on this, but until we get to Friday and see what this building does, it's all up in the air. People have speculated that it could drop cores now. I thought it could be the entrance to a new story event for this event. I don't know. It has to do something different that we haven't seen yet, though. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of all of this information. Guy, Benimaru, Hakuro, Albus, Conquest, everything. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. my Pacific time for the summons, and I pray to fucking God I don't get shafted. But I probably will. But that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you later.